Good afternoon to everybody. We're starting a new cycle of Divrei Torah according to the Parsha. The book of Bereshit, as we've said many times, is encapsulated by the words of the Parsha Bereshit, encapsulated by the words of the Ramban, that the Ramban, Nachmanides, says that everything written basically in Parshat Bereshit or Sitrei Torah, they all are entail the secrets, the mysteries of the Torah, and certainly we can't take everything that is written there just at the face level, at just at a superficial level. But of course, a snake speaking and how Kadosh Baruch Hu made the world, etc. Of course, everybody understands that this is something of a mysterious, more Kabbalistic type of nature. In Pirkei Avot, it tells us in chapter 5 that in Ben Hashmashot, Ben Hashmashot is literally between the two suns. In other words, what we would call a twilight, after the setting of the sun and before the stars have come out. So that's why it's called Ben Hashmashot, in between the two lights, the two suns. At that time, after Shkia, in Eretz Yisrael, it's a period that lasts basically about 24 minutes, more or less like that. Europe, it's different. To get back to the point that during this time of Ben Hashmashot, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created, it was a time, a special measure of time in which HaKadosh Baruch Hu created things that were not created between the first and the sixth day. So it was like an in-between time, what we would associate it with, like the twilight zone, as it's called. Just in parenthesis, before we carry on with the Mishnah, there is an opinion in the Gemara, Masechet Shabbat, and other places, that the concept of Ben Hashmashot, in other words, when it's neither day and it's not finished day and the night hasn't started, is like infinitesimal, very short time, like a millionth of a second. To use the language of the Gemara, Ze nichnas v'ze yotzei, this one goes in, this one comes in, and this one goes out. It's something, a fraction of a second, and that's when Kadosh Baruch Hu created these things. But to get back to the point, what was created in this special category of time, of Ben Hashmashot? So the Mishnah lists there a couple of things. For a couple of examples, the Mishnah says that the Pi Haaretz, in other words, the land which was going to then swallow up the Korach and his followers, that was created at that time. Or for example, Pi Ba'er, or for example, the ass that was going to speak at the time to reprove and to give tochacha to Bilam, that and all other miraculous inyanim, they were created then. Of course, the Rambam says that the Rambam interprets it that the miracles aren't something which are random. It's not that Hashem suddenly changed his mind, but they built into the fabric of creation. In other words, there are different types of creations. There's creation in which basically the laws are fixed. That's what we call nature. And then there's other types of events that happen which are not fixed and that they happen at a specific time, but they already like pre-planned and programmed to occur at certain times. And that's what we call miracles. And that's what the Mishnah, basically according to the Rambam, is one of the messages that the Mishnah is trying to say. But I wanted to share with you another insight, and that is that the Mishnah lists also the inyan of one of the things created was the mazikin. The mazikin is defined as demons. And one of the perushim to the Mishnah, the famous Bartanura, who is a standard commentator on the Mishnah, who was from Italy. So the Bartanura, his family was from Italy. The Bartanura says that mazikin, he explains it like this. On the days of the sixth day of creation, Adam and Chava were created. That's a combination. Man is a hybrid between a spirit and a body, guf and a neshama, a guf and a ruach. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu started to create something else called the mazikin, and he didn't manage to finish it. And there was only like ruchot. The demons had like a spirit without any body to them. And that type of spirit is what we call sometimes demon. That's what he says. I heard a very interesting pshat that what is the message in this inyan? In other words, the Mishnah is trying to say that Hashem started off to create something and didn't finish it. He didn't manage, in inverted commas, to finish it. It was just left sort of half-baked, and a half-baked creature is demonic. One of the Parushim that I heard was that we have to follow HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Our morality is an imitation of what Hashem does. And just like Hashem, what he did was he started on a project and he, in inverted commas, he didn't make it to the end. He abandoned the project. So what we have to learn is we have to learn how when the time's not right, or we started something and we've like run out of time, or we see that it's not working, to have the humility to step back and to abandon the project. I remember that when I was as a teenager, there was invariably people who went to college, who went to universities, and it's very hard to find exactly at that stage what one wants. Some people know, most people know, a lot of people don't know. And there were always those type of families who would say something like this: you know what, you started off such and such a project, you started off such a degree, finish it, and then if you don't like it, change. And then the poor person has to trudge through, waste 4 years of their life to finish a college degree just for because to show that, one's different. I started it, I can't leave it alone, so I have to finish. Why do you have to finish? So the 1 year was, a person didn't like it, it's felt not for him. So he let him abandon the project, okay? So it was in a way a waste of time, a waste of money. And then the 3 years you'll get to do what you're supposed to do. So that's what we learned from the Inyanim of Mazikim of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In that special zone, that twilight zone, neither here nor there, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created something. Why did he have to create something? He created something which was unfinished because to teach us that we also have to know in life how to create, in inverted commas, unfinished things. And as I said, to have the humility to back off and to start off a project anew, which will be more successful. That we should have a Bereshit, that we should have a new beginning in which we've got a successful project, success in all our endeavors, success in our ruchaniyut, in our learning. And if there's here and there things that don't work out, so to have the wisdom when to persevere and when not to persevere and to leave it. That you should all have a Shabbat Shalom and a wonderful new year. All the best.